the Boii can bring an extremely effective line of swords, both of elite and mid-tier quality, and that's just what I did here against Carthage. So Panda Warrior gave me a nice replay where he played Carthage and he just spammed the hell out of swords. He also had some elephants, but I figured I'd show you kind of how brutal a Boii sword rush can be if you try to outsword the Boii. And I'm very happy when I see my Carthaginian opponent's army here, because he has a lot of Libyan infantry, and Libyan infantry are going to die in droves to these Oathsworn and Sword Followers. So I have four Sword Followers, 4 Oathsworn, 4 Celtic Warriors, 4 Levy Freemen and 2 Heavy Horse. And I'm going to scout ahead with my Heavy Horse, because this is a perfect map for ambushing. And I also have this Celtic Skirmisher, 1 Celtic Skirmisher. So these guys are going to follow the Heavy Horse around, and if they find any cavalry units that they're going to charge in, the Levy Freemen can do pretty well in forest maps against cavalry if they aren't charged. So these guys will stop the charge, and then the Levy Freemen will rush in. And although their stats are absolute crap, they do have the bonus versus large of 25. That's going to increase their weapon damage and their melee attack to decent values against horses. He has some mercenary Cretan archers here. Not the best map to bring mercenary Cretan archers on. A main line of Libyan infantry. And I haven't seen any enemy units yet, but I'm still going to scout around. No enemy units over here, so I'm going to move and flank with these guys. But here we go, some mercenary noble fighters, very dangerous unit, and some mercenary Iberian swords. Now, I will show you a pretty nice way of dealing with elite swords like this soon, because these guys have a massive charge bonus of 38. So you want to rob these guys of their charge, because I'm going to send my sword followers up against them, and they are much inferior to those guys. Here I see some units in the woods, the Sacred Band. I'm going to redirect these guys and charge the Sacred Band. So what I'm doing here is I'm sending in a cavalry unit against the mercenary noble fighters to do some damage on the charge, but the main reason why I'm doing this is to rob them of the charge bonus against my sword followers. So now they got charged by horses, and they're going to get caught completely by surprise by these sword followers, and the sword followers are going to get a lot of them on the charge. So that's pretty nice. And when I then activate my shield wall, I've already killed some of them. They don't have their charge bonus, I have my charge bonus, and it's going to be a very effective way of taking them down. So here I managed to catch a huge bunch of cavalry in the woods with my 1 unit of Heavy Horse, and I'm going to rush in my Levy Freeman, and it looks like the ambush my opponent planned here isn't going to happen. Attacking Sacred Band downhill with 2 units, so that should be fine. And all across the line here, I'm just sending in my sword units straight ahead against this Libyan infantry, and on the charge, Oathsworn are going to eat Libyan infantry alive. Sword followers took care of Iberian swords, and now I am in my opponent's backline. So things are looking very bad for Carthage. The Carthaginian cavalry is tied up in the forest with these very cheap units. His Sacred Band is tied up, and his front line of infantry is quickly disintegrating. Mercenary Cretan archers not really able to do much. His general's bodyguard is about to get charged by Levy Freemen. A lot of javelins coming in and destroying these guys. And Levy Freemen are almost worth bringing just for that 1 javelin volley. Pretty effective stuff against cavalry. And here my sword followers are going to do very well against his mercenary noble fighters. They are actually, because they charged in the rear, and because I charged in with cavalry, they are going to get very nice kills on these mercenary noble fighters and hold them for a significant amount of time. And these guys don't cost nearly as much as the mercenary nobles. The mercenary nobles cost over 1300, while these cost 700 something. So very good engagement by that unit. Since I have more units than my opponent, I'm able to push through at will here and get into his mercenary Cretan archers. His cavalry is dying to very cheap, very crappy units, noble cavalry and Carthaginian cavalry going down. Bringing noble cavalry is a pretty bad choice on any map, but especially on a forest map. It's just going to get bogged down and die. And the same here with Carthaginian cavalry against my Levy Freemen. The Levy Freemen are going to swamp this unit and destroy it. The Libyan infantry doesn't have a chance against this onslaught of Oathsworn and Chosen Swords. And I even think the mighty Panda Warriors Sword Rush army would have trouble facing this Boii Sword Rush. There are just too many good sword units for Carthage to be able to contend with. Now the elephants are of course an X factor, but I think I should have been able to take care of the elephants as well with javelins from the Celtic skirmishers. And here I'm rushing in Levy Freemen against the mercenary noble fighters just to cause some more casualties on them. Carthaginian units are being destroyed all across the battlefield, and this is a very short and very brutal battle. Carthage basically brought more cavalry, and I think that is a mistake on a forest map like this, to bring tie a significant amount of your funds in cavalry. And it can be very dangerous to split up your army like this, because since I scouted with my horses here, I was able to catch his units and make them completely useless, neutralize them with these 3 very cheap units, and that's the end of the battle. Very quick decisive victory for the Boii. A lot of nice kills on the sword followers and the Oathsworn. And even the Levy Freemen, and these are cavalry kills, so these are very valuable kills. The heavy horse did their job in tying down enemy units, and only 82 kills on these mercenary noble fighters. None of the Carthaginian units did anything. So this type of Boii rush, especially on a forest map, can be a very, very daunting task to take on for a Carthaginian sword army. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.